Paul Rudd, welcome back to Studio 57. So I got the movie, and I was watching it last night, waiting to see a snow and a flake. There's no snow, there's no flakes. It has nothing to do with this, with an avalanche. Hence
Prince.
the title.
Prince isn't even on the soundtrack.
Right. So the title comes from?
The title comes from a dream that the director, David Gordon Green, had, in which he thought of the words Prince Avalanche, woke up and thought, that'd be a really cool title for a movie.
and so we began.
There you go.
Yeah. He had a location for it because there's a park in Bastrop, Texas, which is just outside of Austin, that really was ravaged by fire. And it was a really interesting environment. And so he went there, saw it, and thought, this is really amazing looking. Yep. It would be cool to have a movie here. And then he thought of the title. But we just didn't know what the movie was. That came later.
What is the movie about? For people who haven't seen, we got screeners, but for those who haven't seen
it's, Emile Hirsch and I play two guys that are painting lines on the road. Yes. As exciting as that sounds.
I was going to say, very exciting job.
It's a remake of an Icelandic film called Either Way, which was only made a few years ago. And it's a very small film, and it's great. And when David was thinking of what the movie would be, somebody turned him onto this, and he watched it and thought, let's remake this and put our own spin on it.
There you go.
So from Anchorman to Avalanche, we all laughed out loud when we saw that little clip. You were coming back as Brian Fantana.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we just finished shooting it.
How was it?
It was a blast.
Yeah.
It was surreal just to see those guys in their costumes again, and to be in that costume again.
No, but this is what's so funny about the Anchorman, because Judd Apatow said, as a goofy nerd, I have a natural aversion to cute, funny guys. I didn't meet him, until he showed up at the audition for Anchorman, overweight, wearing an ugly 70s suit and real mutton chops and a mustache. That's when he stole my heart forever. So I'm wondering about your thinking when you went in to do that, Paul.
That's the way I normally look.
You cleaned yourself up for today.
I just got a haircut. I probably could use
a shave. You have this incredibly, I mean, this is pretty rare for Hollywood. Yeah. You have a likable reputation. I mean, the critic David Edelstein, who works for this network sometimes, said everybody doesn't like somebody, but nobody doesn't like Paul Rudd.
Oh, I could introduce him to a few people that probably would debate that.
But does that ever get in your way, do you think?
That everybody likes me?
Yeah.
Working all right so far.
No, but Paul, I don't know if you remember the White House press correspondents' dinner. We were there, and they have awards with young students, and I was interviewing some of the students, and I said, who are you most excited to see? All the political elite and Hollywood elite, and he said, I love Paul Rudd from Anchorman. It would mean everything to me if I could meet him. I was very touched by that.
As was I.
And then you connected with him.
Yeah,
what did you think?
I was blown away by that.
Point, though, about
and also, I think that he was going down, like you were introducing all of these
scholarship students.
Yes, that talking about journalists they admired and who they kind of wanted to emulate, and he said Brian Fantana. He really needs to shoot higher.
Which I'm worried about if he has blurred the lines between Hollywood and real life, because there's certainly no people in this business that I have met that are like Brian Fantana. Never, never.
That's probably good.
Right, Anthony?
And in this particular movie, we normally think of you in those big budget comedy movies, but this really was a change of pace for you.
Yeah, well,
you're wearing these terrible shorts and these terrible white socks, so the look wasn't so good.
Right.
But I mean, just the character itself, I think it gave people an opportunity to see you differently, and I mean that seriously.
Well, one of the kind of the reason I wanted to do it, and besides the fact that David is a friend of mine, I think a great director and somebody I've always wanted to work with, was that it really did have an independent spirit behind it, and we were able to go out into the woods and kind of do what we wanted, not ever even knowing if anyone would ever see it. So yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a, not so much a rebellion against a studio system, but it was the antithesis of it.
And here's Paul Rudd, who lives in New York, married with 2 kids. It has to be so hard with you trying to keep out of the tabloids with that wild and crazy life you live.
I know.
The paparazzi always stalking you.
They just won't leave me alone.
Paul Rudd, we thank you.
Thanks, Paul Rudd. And Prince Avalanche opens in theaters next Friday.